that's why I'm saying we need to work on that.
Yeah. So, hey, how are you doing? What's your name and your position?
You want my full name?
Full name, please.
Okay, Frank Tobias. My position, I'm a self-employed businessman, and I volunteer with the Patrick Murphy campaign. I've helped with Randy Perkins, and I volunteer for Hilary Clinton.
Great. And let me ask you, what are some jobs that you've performed for the Congressman? Congressman Murphy, not exactly...
Door knocking is the biggest thing that I've done for him. I have worked on every campaign he has done because I have a lot of belief in his talent. So I have worked on both congressional campaigns knocking doors.
So you've been following him since he got into the Congress about, 2010, right?
Well, he's been in for 4 years, so 2012.
2012, sorry about that.
I followed him because he ran against Allen West. I could not stand Allen West, and the first time I heard of him, my wife said, there's this guy running against Allen West, what do you think? I said, send him money. Had no idea who he was. Then I learned he's an awesome guy. I've helped him. I can't tell you how many hours I've put in. Volunteered for him.
If you can't even tell me how many hours, that means it's a couple hours.
Well, I've put in, I would say, hundreds of hours, and my wife has put in probably 2 or 3 times that.
Mr. Tobias, you seem like a very passionate man. Considering this race between Congressman Murphy and Senator Rubio might determine the balance of the Senate of our country, do you feel any added pressure as a volunteer?
I don't know if I feel added pressure. I always feel pressure to help educate the electorate. Most people don't take the time it takes to really understand the issues. So I don't really watch sports because the outcome doesn't really affect my life. I pay attention to politics because that does affect my life. So I can usually tell you anything on the issues.
Great. All right, well, regarding that, on the issues, the Sun Sentinel has endorsed Congressman Murphy, while the Miami Herald has endorsed Rubio. The Palm Beach Post has endorsed Murphy.
The Miami Herald, unless they changed their endorsement, they endorsed Patrick Murphy also.
It was, okay, all right.
Unless they've changed it, but...
The Sun Sentinel officially endorsed Representative Rubio, or Murphy, but yeah, I don't know, maybe they did, but I'll check that out.
Check that.
Yeah, I do need to check that.
Because I thought it stuck out to me that Rubio's hometown paper endorsed Murphy.
Okay, so the Herald is endorsing Murphy. Okay, I'm going to stick with that. How do you feel about that? Would you like to comment about that in any way?
Well, I think what they're looking at is who is going to work for us, the people of Florida, and who is simply trying to work for themselves or their special interest. Rubio has constantly tried to get in the way of government. He led the government shutdown, and he led a lot of the Tea Party issues, which are not making America work. Patrick Murphy worked across party lines to help get money to the citrus industry when they're struggling with the citrus greening. He has been working very hard on Everglades cleanup and the runoff from Lake Okeechobee. He has worked for the people of Florida, not just what helps one special Democratic group. He has really crossed party lines. I really like that.
With regards to that, and considering Senator Rubio's ethnicity, do you see any weird disconnect between his heritage and the kind of people that are following him? For example, like let's say the Hispanic caucus.
I did talk to a Hispanic, I want to say he was Cubano, that said he was backing, he liked Rubio. His main reason to like him was because he felt his Hispanic heritage matched with this gentleman's, and I can respect that, because if it's somebody you think is like you think they're going to have the same issues as you. But I don't really think about the ethnicity. I look at what the people are doing. So I haven't really thought one way or the other.
With regards to that, do you ever find it difficult running against somebody who was trying to run for president? I mean, not you, obviously, but...
I don't know what you mean.
Obviously, all right, Senator Rubio had his failed presidential,
Yes.
bid.
Yes.
Do you guys ever, as in the Murphy campaign or Democrats in general supporting this, do you guys find it difficult to run against somebody who has that kind of national exposure?
Well, the way Rubio got his national exposure was causing chaos in the government.
Right.
He wasn't solving problems for his constituents. He was blocking government from helping the American people. That's how he got his rise. I think it's very telling that he spent a lot of time talking about how he hated the Senate and how he couldn't get anything done in the Senate, but now all of a sudden he wants to be back in the Senate since his presidential bid did not pay off. I think it's telling that he lost Florida in the presidential primary by 19 points, I think, or 20 points. That's not a good record. Now, he does have a lot of name recognition, and this is why I get out and talk to people, because they'll say, oh, Rubio, I know that name, I guess he's doing an okay job. It's not just about do you recognize the name, you need to understand what they're really doing for the people. I cannot endorse any candidate who does not accept that we have a climate change issue. And the climate science is there, and you can't.
We need you.
Okay. You just can't get behind a climate.
Mr. Tobias,
like that.
thank you so much. I really
Okay.
appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I hope
Have
it
a good one.
helps. And
No,
good
this
luck
was
with the
great.
project.
Thank you so much.